There's a certain kind of poverty that doesn't look like poverty. No evictions, no bankruptcy, just a man in his 50s sitting in a decent apartment wondering why 20 years of work left him with nothing. His name was David, and for 2 decades he made the same decision every single morning without even knowing it was a decision at all. David's alarm went off at 6:15, same time every day. He'd shower, get dressed, and by 6:50 he was out the door. The coffee shop was 3 blocks from his office. He knew the barista's name, she knew his order. Grande latte, blueberry muffin, $7.50. He never thought about it. It wasn't reckless. It wasn't even expensive by most standards. It was just routine. By the time he got to his desk, the coffee was half finished and the muffin was gone. He'd boot up his computer, check emails, and start his day as a regional sales manager for a mid-sized logistics company. Decent job, decent pay, decent benefits. David wasn't struggling, but he also wasn't building anything. His checking account hovered around $1,200 most months. His savings account had $340. His 401k existed, but he'd stopped looking at the statements years ago. He told himself he was doing fine. After all, he paid his rent, his car ran, his credit cards weren't maxed out, just carrying balances. What he didn't see was the pattern. If stories like this make you pause and think about your own life, take a moment to subscribe to Everyday Wisdom Stories. Like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. These stories are meant to be lived, not just heard. It wasn't just the coffee. Lunch was usually takeout, $12, sometimes $15. Dinner a few nights a week, Thai, pizza, burgers, nothing fancy, just easier than cooking. Weekends, he'd grab breakfast at the diner, drinks with coworkers on Fridays, a streaming service he forgot he had, a gym membership he hadn't used in 8 months. Small things. Individually, none of them mattered, but David was spending roughly $18 a day on food he didn't need to buy, another $6 a day on subscriptions, apps, and memberships he barely used, $24 a day, $730 a month, $8,760 a year. He had no idea, because it never felt like spending. It felt like living. One afternoon, David's car broke down. The mechanics had $1,400. David didn't have it. He put it on a credit card, felt a low hum of shame he didn't talk about, told himself he'd pay it off next month. He didn't. That night, he sat at his kitchen table with his laptop open. He typed, "How much should I have by 50?" into Google. The answers made him feel sick. He closed the laptop, ordered Thai food. But something had shifted, just slightly. The next morning, he stood in line at the coffee shop. The barista smiled, asked if he wanted the usual. David hesitated. For 5 long seconds, he almost said no. He almost walked out, almost went to the office kitchen and made free coffee, almost saved the $7.50. But the hesitation felt awkward. The line was long, people were waiting. "Yeah," he said, "the usual." He paid, he left, and he told himself it didn't matter.
3 months later, David's company restructured. He wasn't fired, but his department shrank. His raise didn't come. They called it a lateral adjustment. He started looking at his bank account more often. It never grew. No matter how much he worked, no matter how stable his paycheck was, the number stayed the same. Sometimes it dipped. It never climbed. One Saturday, he went to his brother's duplex to help him paint the rental unit. His brother was talking about interest rates, tax deductions, cash flow. David nodded along, but inside he felt hollow. He was older. He'd worked longer. He should have been further ahead. That night, he couldn't sleep. He opened his banking app and did something he hadn't done in years. He went back, scrolled through 6 months of transactions, coffee, lunch, dinner, subscriptions, Ubers, snacks, all small, all reasonable, all constant. He added it up in his head. Then he sat in the dark and felt the weight of 20 years. David didn't make a dramatic change. He didn't quit coffee. He didn't start eating ramen. He didn't swear off spending. He just stopped pretending it didn't add up. The next Monday, he made coffee at home. It tasted fine. He packed a lunch. It took 12 minutes. He canceled 2 subscriptions he didn't use. It felt like nothing, but by the end of the month, his checking account had an extra $680 in it. He stared at the number like it was a stranger. It had been there the whole time. He'd just been spending it before he saw it. He opened a separate savings account, set up an automatic transfer, $500 a month, the day after his paycheck hit. He didn't wait to see if he had extra. He just moved it. For the first time in 20 years, the money stayed. 6 months later, he had $3,000 saved. A year later, $7,200. He started contributing more to his 401k, started reading about index funds, started asking questions he should have asked at 30. He wasn't rich, he wasn't retired early, he wasn't driving a new car, but he also wasn't broke anymore. David still gets coffee sometimes, but now it's a choice, not a reflex. He thinks about that moment in line a lot. The 5 seconds he almost changed direction, the 5 seconds he talked himself out of it. How many years he could have saved if he just said no that one time. How different 55 might have looked if he'd paid attention at 35. But he doesn't dwell on it, because the lesson wasn't about coffee. It was about the things you do every day without deciding to do them. The small leaks you don't notice until the tank is empty. If this story resonated with you, subscribe to Everyday Wisdom Stories, like the video, and tell us in the comments what part stayed with you. Someone else may need this lesson today. Most people aren't broken by one big mistake. They're hollowed out by 1,000 tiny ones they never saw coming.